Okay, everybody, so this is a way for me to show you a different way of organizing curricula beside the grid that I've been using. Up to now, I've had all of my stuff organized in a grid system where I have the section, the assignments, the readings, all in a different column, and they can work their way through it. And I've even gone so far as to have kind of a narrated screencast where I take them through some of these things and I click through some of the resources to make sure that they see how it works. But anyway, what I want to show you is something very different, which has been used by a couple of us in the biology department, and it's a curriculum that's organized around PowerPoints. Now, some of it is for informational presentation, but really, this is more of a narrative that's formed by the PowerPoint. It is a conversation that is begun by questions that are asked in the slides. For example, this slide begins the unit on chemical reactions, but refers back to a data set that we worked with in our natural selection unit, and another one that was in the population dynamics unit. And it asks a couple of questions that are leading into ideas about food and chemical reactions and energy that we'll be going through. And it has stopping points, and this is why it's a nice organizing principle, because, like, for example, what they mean when they say record your ideas in your journal is, if you let me switch over to Chrome here real quick, you get what they call a doodle sheet, and it's a Google Doc that is broken into sections, lettered sections for each stopping point and each question that is asked. And as students go through the unit, they will be putting answers in these spaces. Of course, the document would be found for them in Google Classroom and would be given to them each their own copy, so that this would form a large part of either their formative or, in some cases, summative assessment for this. But again, the questions are asked by the order that they come in the PowerPoint. So it makes a nice organizing principle. And also, if you go through it, as you can see, it has lots of places where it's asking for input and discussion. I'll talk a little bit more about how discussions can happen in a Google Classroom environment, but needless to say, it doesn't just have to be people typing into a Google Doc. You can have moments that are breakouts from this that are actual discussions that are either ongoing or ones that people can contribute to over time. But anyway, as we move on, I can show you a couple of other things. Here we have an example where a document is linked that is, or a website is linked that students are going to go to, and I also have a document that I link on Google Classroom for them to type into when they go to this particular site. But this, again, is using the PowerPoint as a starting point, as a skeleton for the narrative, for the experience that you want to create. And this allows some ability to do that. And so again, they move on, they go through a combination of things where, again, they have to record ideas about things that might be previous knowledge, and then some stopping points to do summaries. And then, of course, there is material that you are presenting that can be taken in, though there are also ways to link to readings and anything that you want. In fact, let me stop here for a second. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Hold on. Let me stop here for a second and just show a blank slide. I can link to anything I want to from within a PowerPoint, right? I can link to a YouTube video or something like that, and if this isn't something that you know how to do, I'm going to pause here for a second and help you see that. The first example I will show is just to go to my Google Classroom page and find any assignment, really. just this thing. And again, if you click on these three circles, you'll see copy link, and that's going to give you a web link that you can then use. I go back to my page here, and I type research materials for evolution. I know this isn't what this is specifically about right now, but that's what it came up on. So if you don't know this, if you highlight text, you right click on it, and you go down and you click on hyperlink, that allows you to insert a web page address that that you'll go to whenever that text is clicked on. It makes a live link, like the ones you see on the internet. And so now I put the URL into that box, and when we are in real time and somebody clicks on that link, they will be taken to that resource on Google Classroom, along with places where they can comment and where student work can get turned in. Okay, so that, I believe, is the main idea of why you might want to use PowerPoint as a way of organizing a unit, because you can give a way for students to go at whatever pace they are able to, maybe not in time with everybody else, but they'll be able to give the same feedback that you want in the same order, and you are also able to link resources at the time they're going to need them, and the PowerPoint can serve as a guide for them to get through. They'll know when they're done, when they get to the end, and maybe you give them a checklist of things, and that will be it. Anyway, I hope this is helpful to you, and please don't hesitate to ask me any questions that you have about this. Thank you very much.